Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Scorpio for the week of November 21st. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Scorpio, let's go ahead and see what we have here. You did have the Strength card pop out when I was shuffling, so we'll see if that card comes back in. Do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for future updates from me. And as always, all of the decks that I use on my channel are linked in the description below this video if you'd like to check them out for yourself. So, cool. Let me make sure we're set up here. All right. Go ahead and put this right here, and then I'll also take some of these Kipper cards as well. Okay, energy on the bottom. You have the Seven of Pentacles. So Seven of Pentacles, this is about your long-term financial situation. Some of you thinking about what's next for you at this time, thinking about what's next. Some of you may be thinking about retirement here. This is not going to be for everybody, but some of you are thinking about retirement. This is a very much like a card that you would associate with long-term investments that accrue over time, such as, putting money into a retirement accounts, index funds, real estate, financial situations like that. This is not a quick get-rich-quick investment or swing trading or anything like that. This is something that's long-term, something that you can retire on, right? This person here has spent a lot of time growing this harvest here, and they're now thinking, is it time for me to take it, right? Is it time for me to take it? And they're pondering their next direction in life, so to speak. So I do think that maybe some of you are thinking about that, even if you're not in retirement here or ready to move into retirement. You're simply pondering your next direction in life, and inevitably a part of that, of what comes along with that, is the financial aspect, right? That's something that we can't ignore, we can't get away from, we don't have to obsess about, but we can't ignore, right? And so that is something that I think's kind of happening here for you. You have a very nice reading here for yourself here, Scorpio, as we're still in Scorpio season, and I do hope you've had a great Scorpio season, but we are ready to transition here into Sagittarius season soon. And I do think that you wrap out this Scorpio season on a pretty high note here. So as we kind of move into the last portion of the year, but in the overall situation, you have the 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups, this is about windfalls of happiness. This is one of the happiest cards to find in the tarot, but this is heavily associated with family, as you can see here, the family on the card, and you can even see the real estate in the background. They own the home on the hill here in the backgrounds. And so I do think that there is something connected to like family accounts, retirement accounts, family assets. If you are contemplating retirement, it's like there's like a familial like a family type of decision here, that like there's a family aspect here to this decision for many of you, if you're in that timeline. If that's not resonating at all, which it won't resonate with everybody, you're thinking about your long-term happiness. Okay, what makes you happy over the long haul? Okay, 10 of Cups, the only card that is happier in the tarot than the 10 of Cups is the Sun. And so you can't really get happier than that, and other than the Sun. And you're thinking about this with a long-term lens here with the 7 of Pentacles. Now, in the past, you have the 9 of Wands, you have the Ace of Swords, and you also have the Moon card. So the 9 of Wands here, this is somebody who is really kind of ready to give up. If you look at this card, this person is ready to give up. But what they really need to do is persevere. Okay, the worst thing they could do is give up, because they're very, very close to completing something. It can be a card of frustrations, because it's like you've been on this long journey, but you're not completed yet, or the journey's not over yet. But you've been on this long journey, it's not done yet. Some of you recognize that maybe here in the past, you've recognized that you have a little bit left to go. There's some time to go here, Scorpio. But at the same time, you absolutely see light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, you absolutely see light at the end of the tunnel here with the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a major breakthrough. Okay, well, it's really like it is a major breakthrough, but it's like a breakthrough that may lead to a new beginning in one's life. Okay, so some of you, I do think, you could think of this as like a divine insight. A divine insight. You can see like the light coming out of the hand here. This is like, okay, I suddenly know exactly what I need to do to be successful in this situation. That's kind of this idea of the Ace of Swords, where it can manifest in that way. You have this here with the moon, which the moon might suggest that there are some things in life that are just not as they appear. But in this case, what I would say is, it's not the right way of phrasing it. It's more like there are some things in life that are not, that you don't have the answer to right now. What's really nice here is the moon would suggest lack of clarity versus the Ace of Swords would suggest clarity. Okay, and so, there are some things that are becoming in the past year. There have been some things here that have become abundantly clear to you, and this feels like a welcome energy because you, I think, for some time have been in the dark about something. But I also think that this whole thing in the past year about giving up, this was a temporary feeling, because the moon can be something that's temporary in your life as well. So I do think that was just like, it was like a test sort of, where it's just like, oh man, this is something that I need to just keep persevering through or continuing through here. In the current situation, you have the Ace of Cups, you have the Ten of Cups, and you also have the Hermit. So I love this for you, because the Ace of Cups into the Ten of Cups. So the Ace of Cups starts off the cups suit. This is the cup that eventually grows in to the Ten of Cups. This is like the initial splash, right? That grows into a big wave. The Ten of Cups is a big wave. And, you've been thinking about this, right? And you've been growing this wave. The wave has been picking up for you. The waves have been picking up for you here. And the Ace of Cups is a new beginning and happiness. You have double aces here. Very nice. Okay, very nice. You're building on this insight that you've had in the past. You're setting the plans in motion. You're really spending time thinking about, most importantly, what makes you happy. What makes you happy? And I think that you're putting that above the rest right now, which I think is a smart thing to do in life. I think it's a very smart thing to do if you can, to the best of your ability. What makes you happy, and going for those things. It's sort of like you're going from A to Z here with the Ace of Cups into the Ten of Cups, going full circle, going A to Z, whatever you want to call it. You do have the Hermit card here, which the Hermit represents you maybe not going A to Z, but going within, right? Going within. This person here is looking for their guiding star or their guiding light in life. And they eventually will find it. They are wise. They are a sage. And, the Hermit might suggest that I definitely think that you have been, there's like a real sense of contemplation here for you. As I just look at this person here on the Seven of Pentacles card, just like taking a moment, getting away from their work. They've been working hard, farming or whatever they're doing here, working on this harvest. Just taking a moment, taking a break here, thinking about what's next. And then, you have this Hermit card here, which this person is introspective, taking many moments, taking much time here to be alone and to connect within. And, I see you really doing this here, and I see you connecting not only within, but with what makes you happy, okay? With what makes you happy. That is the biggest thing for you, Scorpio, here, as we kind of transition through the rest of November. We're only halfway through November, right? We've still got, almost half of the month to go. But as we kind of move through the rest of November here, into the last month of the year, I think you're really thinking about this. Now, in the future, you have the Temperance card, the Five of Wands, and the Chariot. So, definitely like this here. Remember how I said you had the Strength card that popped out when I was shuffling at the beginning of this reading? Well, we now have the Strength card is number 8. The Chariot card is number 7. Both the Strength card and the Chariot card indicate overcoming obstacles. One is an internal obstacle, and the Chariot in this case is an external obstacle. So you also have 9 here, by the way. So in some respects, we have 7, 8, 9 here showing up. So, there are some obstacles to hurdle over here, but the cards are showing major success in your ability to do that. You do have the Five of Wands, which is a conflict or an obstacle, but you have this here with the Chariot, and as I said, the Strength card popped out as well. That really says that you have an ability to work through that, through whatever roadblock is coming forward to you. But not only because of that, but also because of the Temperance card here in addition. So the Temperance card, you can see that they're dipping their toe here in the pool of water, and this signifies their ability to heal. Specifically, the Temperance card comes after the Death card. The Death card is a transformation, and the Temperance card says that you are healing from the transformation. And transformation is ultimately good, but you do need to give yourself time to heal, right? You need to give yourself time to heal. Another way of looking at this is the Sagittarius card, by the way, and I've been talking about how we're kind of moving into this Sagittarius season here in this entire reading. But another way of looking at this is, this angel here on the card, which that is what is illustrated here, is doing alchemy between the cups, right? They're doing alchemy between the cups. This is your ability to maybe use the law of attraction in your favor here, and kind of align your thoughts and your actions towards a specific outcome, which is kind of the way that I like to look. That is the way that I like to look at the law of attraction. So definitely like what is going on here for you. Okay, you've got success here in your future. There's maybe just some type of conflict. It's probably an inner conflict because this has been such an inwardly focused reading. And also there are no other people here. There are no people here showing up on the reading. And so this is most likely an inner conflict here that's showing up in the future. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Kipper cards here. So you have the adjudication, message of concern, main male, and false person. Okay, I mean, some of you might be wrapping up a legal situation here. That's going to be, some of you are wrapping up a legal situation. It's likely something connected to divorce. Now, just to be totally clear, if you have not heard what I just said, I'm not predicting divorce. I'm saying that some of you have already gone through that. So if you're like in a happy, healthy relationship, I'm certainly not predicting divorce. I'm saying that some of you are already in a legal process. So just to be totally clear there. It actually looks quite good for your love life here otherwise. So the other thing is, with those cards that I'm getting here, there's a really strong focus for you to kind of cut out the noise, cut out the outer chatter, and listen to the inner noise. And because there might just be somebody here who doesn't have the best intentions, and so I'm really thinking that this is a time to go inward. Let's go ahead and let's clarify this even more. We do have the Two of Cups. We have the Emperor and the Chariot again. So certainly in the past, for a subset of you, there have been frustrations in relationships. With the Two of Cups and the Nine of Wands, frustrations in relationships. And Again, there are multiple timelines that I'm reading here. Some of you are like in retirement, getting ready for retirement. Some of you are looking at your long-term happiness. And some of you here, the other timeline that I'm getting, there's something about your relationship now in the past year that has been frustrating. And some of you, I think, have been going through changes in relationships. The Emperor is really a good sign in the tarot. The Emperor is like a boss, right? It's boss energy. It's somebody who's extremely successful in their career. They can be strict, they can be rigid. In part, that has helped them out in their career, that has helped them become successful in their career, but also it has maybe put a strain on other areas of their life. And so some of you may connect with that as it relates to your relationship situation here. You do have this Chariot card as well, which again, I've talked about the Chariot. I love this for you, right? So you have obstacles here that have been in the past that have come in. You might have some obstacles here in the future, but it doesn't matter because the cards are saying that you have everything you need to simply work through these obstacles here that are showing up in your life. So ultimately, it looks very good for you. You have the Four of Wands. You have the Five of Cups. And you have the Three of Wands. All right, so yeah, there's something. Okay, so remember, I gave you the 3 timelines that I'm reading about, right? I'm not going to go through them again, but the timeline for those of you, this relationship timeline, there is something about your marriage that's disappointing, okay? And I do have to rewind because I think I said that things look good otherwise here in your love life. I do think that actually, this is why we clarify, right? But I do think, the people who are here for love, there's been something challenging, disappointing, connected to like a long-term relationship, okay? So even though we have the Ace of Cups, I don't feel like I'm seeing new love, okay? I feel like if you're here for love and I'm talking to you, this is about some sort of long-term partnership that you've been in. And there might be updates. We'll say that to that relationship here that you've been going through. And this has maybe been pretty challenging. This is probably the obstacle that some of you are working through. The Three of Wands would suggest, an excitement in life. It's this person here on this card is an adventurer. They're excited about what is out there, right? They're ready they're ready for liftoff, right? They're ready for liftoff, and they realize that the entire ocean is in front of them. They're ready to explore what is out there. And it's a very exciting card. And so I think in other areas of your life here, especially those who are here and you're not here for relationships at all, like there's an excitement that's coming in, and it's because you're looking at your long-term happiness, is what I feel. You have the Five of Swords, you have the Six of Cups, and you also have the King of Wands. So Five Swords, definitely some type of there's a problem from the past with the Six of Cups and the Five Swords that's rearing its head around here, and this is maybe with a Sagittarius, by the way, or what might be happening is it's during Sagittarius season, which is coming up, as I've said multiple times. In fact, I think that there's something significant here. Call it end of November into December here. That is coming in for some of you to look at. And again, this is something that you're ready to handle. Okay, this is not something that you can't handle. This is something that you will be successful in dealing with. It's from the past. It's rearing its head around here. It's coming back in, I think, sometime here, end of November into December here. But I do have to say, in the business side of life, in the career side of life, it seems like you're doing big things here, Scorpio, and it looks pretty incredible. So let's see what's on the bottom here. You do have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, look, I think some of you here are just bossing up in your career. I also think that and if you're here for retirement, which some of you are, I think that you're looking at that in a very logical way. But I also think that some of you are working through some long-term relationship stuff. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. I will see you in the next reading.